Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart was born on July 24, 1897 in Kansas, the daughter of Edwin and Amy Earhart. At the age of 3, she was sent to live with her grandmother. When she was 7, her father Edwin took the family to St. Louis World's Fair, where on riding the Ferris wheel, she learned that she rather enjoyed heights. Her father Edwin was well educated, but money slipped through his fingers, so he found another job out of the state. Then Amelia joined her grandparents in Iowa and saw her first airplane at the 1908 Iowa State Fair. She took her first ride in an airplane in 1920. After her flight with the barnstormer Frank Hawks, she said, "As soon as we left the ground, I knew I myself had to fly." Indeed, within a few days, she took her first flying lesson. 6 months later, she bought her own airplane, a yellow King Air Airster that she named the Canary. She was not a naturally gifted pilot, but she built up her flying time and even broke the women's altitude record in 1922. She became the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean on June 18, 1928. In 1937, Amelia Earhart attempted an around-the-world flight, starting on May 21, 1937 from Oakland, California, in the recently repaired Lockheed Electra. She and her navigator, Fenn Nonan, stayed overland as much as possible. After relatively short flights to Burbank, California and Arizona, they next touched down in New Orleans and then Miami, where their airplane was tuned up for the long trip. From Miami, they flew through the Caribbean and then to Natal, Brazil, for the shortest possible hop over the Atlantic. Although it was the longest leg of the journey that they completed safely. They touched down in Senegal, West Africa, then eastward across Africa to Khartoum, and then Ethiopia. From Asab, Ethiopia, they're the first to make an Africa to Indian flight, touching down in Karachi, Pakistan. From Calcutta, India, they flew to Rangoon, Bangkok, and then Bandung in the Dutch East Indies. Monsoon weather prevented departure from Bandung for several days. Repairs were made on some of the long-distance instruments which had given trouble previously. During this time, Amelia had become ill with dysentery that lasted for several days. After a stop in Darwin, Australia, they continued eastward to Lae, New Guinea. Arriving there on June 29th, from Lae they took off for Howland Island, 2,200 miles away in the Pacific, but they never